Hi friends, I'm Amy and this is A Star Reads, and it's time to start a new season of Book Love is Blind, which I'm very, very excited about because I have 10 new dates that I'm going to be going on, and half of them were picked by Shell and half of them were picked by you, and I can't wait to find out who picked what and who believes which books would be my favorites. If you want to find out more about this series, I will link the announcement video up here. You can also, of course, go and watch season 1 if you'd like to just see the process of how I made these videos. And they were, of course, inspired by the Love is Blind series, which I absolutely love to watch. Love to love, love to hate. I just thought this would be a fun way to make that show bookish. So for my very first date, I'm here at the Berkeley City Club Hotel. It was created by the architect Julia Morgan, and it's such a beautiful place, and it has a beautiful library. I was like, what better way to spend a date with a book than in a gorgeous place like this? So I'm going to be reading the first 10% of this book, and as a reminder, I know nothing about this book aside from what I read within that first 10%. In fact, my friend Shell has typed it all out so that I don't even see like the cover of the book or anything like that. And by the time I get through all of these 10 dates, I will determine which 3 books I want to take on to the next round, which is like the proper date, the honeymoon, where I'm going to spend a lot of time reading the whole entire book, and at that point I will know what the books are. And then we'll find out which book of all these 10 books is my next bookish love, is the book I'm going to fall absolutely head over heels for and spend time giggling and professing my love and stuff too. To start off with, this is the room I'm currently reading in. This is my view at the moment. And this is the little library nook that I'm going to plan on reading in for a little bit. I might move around the hotel, but this is where I'm going to start out. I just think this place is stunning. And here is the view from the front window. Not too exciting. Over here is the activity center, so this is where they do like Zumba and they do all kinds of cool classes. Here are some of the books. There's a whole bunch of books in this. I actually have this one. How funny. It's pretty obscure, I think. And I haven't still read anything by Isabel Allende. First, look at this one. This is All I Get. SN2, Season 2, Book 1, Contestant 1. That's all I get. Aside from everything that's in here. But Resurrection Canto, Book of Cantos. Okay. Let's see, how long is this thing? It is 10%. How many chapters is that so far? Chapter 5. Oh, they're short chapters. And that's it. Okay. We're gonna find out. Okay, so initial thoughts. I don't know what book this is, but the writing is beautiful. It seems like it's a YA, young adult. It might not be, but it's about this young girl who sneaks into this circle of resurrection that her family is doing for her Aunt Rosario, who she was really close to and she loved, so she wanted to be there. But when she gets in there, she realizes that they're actually resurrecting. Like, she didn't realize they were resurrecting the body that they dug up from the grave. And the body comes to her and is like, Alejandra, and like actually goes towards her. And she's freaked out because the body falls on her. And this whole situation is so frightening. And when it happens, they close the circle and her mom takes her back to bed and says, don't ever break a circle. I guess because it's probably really dangerous. Since she broke that circle, is she going to be cursed or something? Is her aunt going to stay with her like her ghost, or what's going to happen here? I am enjoying it so far. I mean, that's only 1 chapter, so there's not that much, and they are very, very short chapters. But it is already building great ambiance, and I'm curious to find out what Alejandra learns from this. Is it going to just go on to her as a young person, or is it going to jump forward to when she's an adult? What's going to happen? what is the result of this circle, and how will that affect the story going forward. And I'm such a know-it-all. There were some women who just came in because they passed by the building and they just wanted to check it out because it was like, oh, look at this beautiful building, I want to go walk in. And so then they were talking about this room while I was sitting here, and I just started telling them facts about Julia Morgan, and they were like, oh, da 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 da. And then they asked me a question. I said, oh, I don't know, I'm just visiting. And they were like, we thought you worked here. Because I'm such a know-it-all. I'm one of those people. I mean, I don't necessarily will tell everybody everything, and if they're wrong, I'll tell them they're wrong. But if I have information and I'm fascinated by something and people are interested, I'll tell them. And they were interested, and it was fun to chat with them. Okay, so this next chapter, we're already jumping forward 9 years, so that answers that question. Okay, so I finished chapter 2, and Alejandra is the middle child of 3 sisters, and they are all brujas. And something happened to their dad at some point. They are all meant to come into their powers, but Alejandra doesn't want to. And her youngest sister, Rose, has a lot of magic and is going to be a very powerful bruja. And her oldest sister has already had her death day, which shows that she has come into her powers. And Alejandra is keeping a secret from her sisters because that situation that she witnessed with her aunt when her aunt was dead and came alive during the circle has traumatized her completely. And so we're seeing this relationship between these sisters. We're seeing how her oldest sister is trying to help her get her powers, come into her powers, and how Alejandra's really just resisting as much as she possibly can. It's a very easy read so far. I'm liking the writing style, and I think that these characters are going to be really fun to follow. I like their sisterly relationship, and I'll be curious to see what direction this goes in with Alejandra, because she lives in a family where being a bruja is a really big deal, and she just wants to live her life, go to school, and become educated and not have anything to do with that part of herself. So I think she's going to come up against challenges, or something actually is going to happen that'll force her to use her magic, come into her magic. So we're basically at this point where, because Alex has been denying her magic for so long, it is coming out in very scary ways, which of course, since she was already traumatized, is going to make things a lot worse. It's definitely doing a good job of pulling me in, and I've got 1 chapter left. When Alejandra has a panic attack, she cleans. I wish that was my reaction to stress. All right, that's it. That's the end. Okay, so this ended on a bang, quite literally, actually. And I loved where it ended off because it actually was very exciting, perfect cliffhanger point, and makes me excited to continue on. Don't know that this is one of Shell's pick. I'm very curious who chose this and what it is, because I actually don't know what it is. I can only think of one YA that it might be, but then the names in this, like, I don't recognize any of the names. So I have no idea. The characters are very interesting. I can tell that I'm really going to like some of these characters a lot. And that's always a good sign. If I'm already starting to get drawn in by the characters at this point in the story, then I'm going to probably like it a lot because I'm fairly character driven when it comes to the stories I like to read. Alejandra's been denying her magic for so long that we're at a point where it's getting to be dangerous. And there is a fear that she has, and then now that you have as a reader, or I have as a reader, is her magic going to be dangerous? Like, is it different than the other magic we've come across within this family? And what's that going to lead to? She believes that she's been the cause of some really awful things that have happened, and that if she lets other people know about this side of her, it'll mean that she really is as awful as she's afraid she is. I'm very curious to find out what the big secret is, or what her big secret is, or what the reality of her magic ends up being. So whoever picked this, great choice. This is incredibly intriguing, and it's going to make it difficult to choose my top 3 already, because the first one already I'm enjoying a lot. So very excited. This was a wonderful date in a beautiful location. Such a great way to spend a date. I have been absolutely loving the architecture of this place, and while I've been filming this, I've been just kind of touring around the hotel, and it's been fun to like peek my head in here, peek my head in there, and they're pretty good here about leaving all the doors open so you can go into any of the rooms you want to go into. Not the bedrooms, but like the big ballrooms and stuff like that. So I've really got a chance to kind of nose my way around here. There's no better way I can think of spending a date with a book or anybody than being super nerdy and doing stuff that I love to do. And this is absolutely tops. So what a great experience.
Welcome back, everyone, and especially Amy, to season 2 of Book Love is Blind. While Amy thought she met her perfect match last season, there is always hope that we can find her an even better one. So, this season was a little bit different than last season. Only 5 of the contestants were chosen by the lovely host and typist, and the other 5 were a random selection from a Google survey that several of her followers filled out. These contestants are a mixture of my blind date recommendations as well as yours. Is everybody ready for contestant number 1? Contestant number 1 might be a little younger than you were hoping for, but also kind of dark and mysterious. Contestant number 1, and I hope you didn't guess this, I really wanted to throw a curveball in there right at the beginning. This was my recommendation, and it was Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. I hope you had a great date.
If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens on date number 2. Will I love the second book even more than the first book? I'm very excited to see how this goes, given that it's not just Shell giving me choices. I mean, I know Shell has very good sense of my taste, so I'm bound to get really great books within this, but you know, it could be hit or miss, or it could be all great books that I'm gonna have a really hard time figuring out what I wanna pick as my bookish love. Also, I do want to say, please, 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 please know that when it comes to what I enjoy in a book, it is subjective. It's based on the writing, it's based on the characters, it's based on a feeling, a vibe. So if I end up not loving a book that you chose for me, don't take it personally. It's not you. It's absolutely me. And I'm sure it's an amazing book, and there's many people who are going to love it. And it just might turn out to not be one of my favorites. And I may still love it, but not pick it as one of my top 3 because my choices are all just so amazing. And I've got to go with my gut, my vibe, my feeling as to what my favorite, my bookish loves are going to be. So going forward, I just want to make sure everybody knows who did submit books for me. I'm so appreciative of this. I'm so appreciative that you took the time to think about what I might love and submitted ideas for that. And I just don't want to disappoint, but I also know that I can't pick everybody's book. So just know that it's really all about what I feel like reading and what I'm enjoying at the moment, and has nothing to do with your book choice. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.